If you're a Will Levis fan, or at this particular point, a fan of mayonnaise at this particular rate, this probably ain't the video for you. Now don't say I didn't warn you, because this isn't your normal recap. So get in here. Welcome to Front of Cheap Seats. Welcome, glad to have you. I'm Bonafide, and this is From the Cheap Seats. And I gotta be honest with you, we about to skip all the formalities and get right into it. We have a problem at quarterback, and the problem's name is Will Levis. I am here to tell you, a fan of the Tennessee Titans, who's been a fan of this team since 1999. So I've seen every bad quarterback that the Titans have trotted out. I'm talking about the Rusty Smiths. I'm talking about the Zach Mettenbergers. I'm talking about, yes, even the Charlie Whitehursts. I've seen every bad quarterback there is. And I'm here to unequivocally tell you that Will Levis is not the future at quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. I don't care if he's only had 14 starts. I do not care that he hasn't had enough time in this new offense. I don't care about any of that, because none of that matters. He is not the guy. You can see it with your eyes if you watch the game. You can see it. You will know. I think we let this Atlanta-Miami game blind us, and we'll talk about that more. But he is being outplayed this season by rookies. Cats that just got out of college with less experience. He is getting outplayed by them. He has regressed so badly, and it is apparent that he is falling back to the mean that he was. Let's talk about yesterday's game. We ain't even doing no graphics. We ain't doing no graphics. Let's talk about it. Now, I get it. I watched the game. There was plenty of blame to go around. L'Jarius Sneed, blame to go around. Calvin Ridley, to a point, blame to go around. But it was clear from when the game freaking started that Callahan was going to be conservative to protect Levis from himself. We started the game with two doggone screens. Now, the game went on and we went through there, but it was apparent via the play calling that we weren't, that he just isn't the guy. Now, yesterday, you could probably point out, you would probably say, oh, McLean, well, you didn't see anything about Calvin Ridley. He got 8 targets and no receptions. Now, when you watch the game and you hear that on the TV and you hear people talk about it on Facebook and on Twitter, you get upset, and you will rightfully get upset, because we paid Calvin Ridley a lot of money to be a wide receiver. And on the surface level, it would look like he didn't produce. It would look like that he didn't do his job as a wide receiver. He was getting targets. They were there. Well, why wasn't he catching them? Now, after the game, if you watch the presser, even Calvin Ridley was upset. He was frustrated, and most of all, it was about him not being involved earlier in the game. And once you look at the tape and you look at it, he was right. He was absolutely right. Now, don't get me wrong. There were some passes that Calvin needed to catch, and he should have caught, because a wide receiver his caliber should catch that. But God dang it, you need a good quarterback if you're going to be a great wide receiver. That's just the plan. That's just it. And Tic Tac Titans, Tyler Rowland posted a cut up of Levis's throw. A whole bunch of people put a cut up of Levis's throws just to Ridley. I'm not talking about anything else, but the ones where we were targeting Ridley, and it was a comedy of errors and a display of what bad quarterbacking is. The first doggone pass where Levis said, I'm going to target Ridley, because he doesn't go through his progressions, because that's what kind of quarterback he is. You know what he does? Do you know what he does on the first target to Ridley? He throws the doggone ball right in the face of a defensive lineman. Right in the face. It wasn't like the defensive lineman had to jump anything. He threw the ball right in his face. Then he proceeds to throw an interception where Ridley was double covered. He underthrew the ball and he patted it so long that even the commentator was like, he's patting the ball, he's patting the ball. It gave Blackman enough time to know, hey, he's staring down Ridley. Hey, he's gonna throw it to Ridley. Hey, let me jump this route. And what did he do? Got an interception. But no. 2 more times he targeted Ridley, and he really should have been picked off 2 more times. He had 1 near interception in the end zone where he was targeting Ridley that you can catch the doggone Tennessee Titans cheerleader on the sideline throwing up a Hail Mary because it wasn't picked. He telegraphs everything. He doesn't go through his read. He doesn't go through his protection. And to make this all bad, make this all worse, I'm really going to sprinkle a little bit more salt in the wound. This game that he had could be considered the best protection that the offensive line has given in multiple years. I think since 2022. They didn't allow a sack the entire game. And that's with a right tackle that we found on the side of Interstate 40 eating wrap snacks and rolled the window down and said, hey, you look like you can play right tackle. How about you come to the facility and start for us on Sunday? Didn't allow a sack. Did they give up some penalties? Absolutely. But they didn't allow a sack and they gave him time. And what did he do with it? Absolutely nothing. Now, y'all know I live stream the game every Sunday that I got a chance. And when we were on the live stream after the interception, everybody in the chat was resigned to the fact that this game was over. Yes, a game that it was a 3-point game, 20-17 was over. Yes, that's even after the defense forced not 1, but 2 3-and-outs. We were relegated that we weren't coming back. And why is that? It's because Will Levis is the quarterback. And that right there should be enough to show you why Cali is so conservative. Because the doggone quarterback is an absolute liability. This man finished with he finished with 95 yards passing, but he threw the ball 27 times. You be like, oh, you bonafide, you're not talking about the TD. Yeah, he had the TD pass, the NWI. But that's like finding underwear with holes in it. Hey, at least they clean. Yeah, but so it doesn't even matter. So people are harping on Cali about not allowing him to throw the ball down the field. Well, guess what? The man was 4 of 14 on passes that went 10 or more yards. 4 of 14. Come on, man. You had a 39-year-old Joe Flacco on the other side who was throwing absolute dots. And you telling me Will Levis going against the 32nd ranked pass defense in the NFL, the bare minimum. I mean, they were terrible at pass defense. And you can only muster up 95 yards and you supposed to be the doggone starting quarterback? Come on, man. Now, look, if you go on social media, you're going to see 2 camps. You're going to see people like me that are fully out on Will Levis and don't want anything to do with him, don't want to see him take another snap at QB1. And then you got other people that are using every excuse in the book to tell you that he still can be the guy. People in the latter camp, people who tell you that he still can be the guy, will use anything they can. I've heard it all. I've heard, oh, he needs more time. Somebody had the nerve to say this, that Troy Aikman and Steve Young also had terrible starts, but look how they turned out. Then I hear people saying that it's convenient. Oh, it's Callahan's fault. He isn't letting him loose. He's trying to change him about who it is. He's being too conservative. I just told you that was a lie. Then people got the nerve to tell me this. Say, hey, oh, this is Rand Carthon's fault. He picked the coach and the coach don't know what he's doing. Yes, people are blaming Rand Carthon for Will Levis' fault. And then you get people saying, well, outside of the interceptions and the dumb turnovers, Will is playing at a high level. A bunch of bull crap. I got a friend, he's from the country. He would call that a bunch of horse hockey. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to keep it PG for the kids. And then people will say, oh, it's the offensive line. He doesn't have time in the pocket. I just told you yesterday that with a right tackle that was working at Wendy's on Friday and starting for the Titans on Sunday, they didn't allow 1 sack. 1 sack. Didn't allow 1 sack. Now, I could go on and on and on about this thing, but the thing remains the same with this group of people, this group of Mayo men, these group of Miracle Whip supporters, is that none of this is Will's fault. I never saw one person that mentioned any one of those excuses say that this was Will's fault. And that's the problem. The supporters have always got an excuse for him. For instance, even Will himself, but they get it from him. Because look, for example, Will mentioned that his shoulder wasn't 100% yesterday. He said that in the presser. And that's why some of his overthrows didn't happen. Another excuse. If that was the case, and Will, you knew you weren't 100%, then why didn't you sit your hind parts down? Anthony Richardson wasn't 100% and they sat him down. So maybe some of that blame does go on Callie and Rand Carthon for letting him do that. But guess what? He got cleared for the game, so you don't get to use that excuse for the piss poor performance that you had on Sunday. Now, for 6 weeks now, 6 weeks, this is week 6. So for 5 games, 6 weeks, and a part of last year, we have seen exactly what every other scout team, recruiting department, scouting department saw on college tape. We saw a QB that's slow to make decisions, slow to throw, no pocket awareness, falls back into bad habits when he's faced with pressure, drifts in the pocket, bad footwork. And we ain't even talking about the turnovers yet. We ain't even talking about the turnovers. And guess what? That was a problem at UK too. There is a reason why Will Levis was sitting in the draft room and he wasn't selected. There was a reason why when he finally got picked up by us, and that probably is my 13th reason, but when he got picked up by us, he was at the house, is because everything that they said he was on tape is exactly what he is doing right now. I don't know what the previous organization, and this is where I'm gonna ding Rand at, because Rand was a part of that previous organization, but he ain't in no jeopardy of getting fired, which is what other people are saying. Just like they say, oh, Callie and them on a hot seat. That's a bunch of malarkey. You can ding him for making the pick, but don't be an idiot and say, oh, he's gonna get fired because of Will Levis. Come on now. But I don't know what they saw in him as the second round pick. I have no clue. Now, we all know how he got his chance to start. He got his chance to start because Tannehill got hurt. And I think, like I said, for the most part, like I said earlier, everybody, me included, me included, wanted him to be good so we could build around a QB finally and stop with this short-term rental thing we were doing with Tannehill and coming off of the Mariota thing and then getting that. We wanted to finally build something. We let, and I was talking to somebody, it said, we let that Atlanta game and that Miami game blind us to the fact that he has always been this bad at the QB position. We let that, we allowed that game, and I'm gonna say I'm including myself in this. I'm a fan just like you, but we allowed that game and the Atlanta game where he threw 4 touchdowns to blind us to the fact that he's always been this bad. He's always played, going back to UK, he plays hero ball, making bad decisions with the ball. When you look at the QB position, you want to see, especially with a young quarterback, you want to see progression. You do not want to see regression. You want to see them making strides in the right directions. That's where you can say, oh yeah, well, Aikman and Manning and they made strides in the right direction. You want to see that happen. You want to see that more than every 6 games a quarterback. Oh, he can do that. You want to see progression. You want to see that good decision making. You want to see the ability to lead an offense down the field and score points. You want to see signs of improvement, and you don't see an absolute iota of that with Will. Absolutely none. The analytics, you can go anything. The analytics, the next gen stats, SIS, computer ball win, anything you want to. The eye test. You just watching the game. You looking at quarterbacks breaking down the game. You're looking at people who are way smarter than us breaking down the game, and they're telling you everything, all the tools. It's screaming he's not playing the position well. He's not good at this position. Now I said all that to say this, and this is the part that is killing me on the inside as a Titans fan. This is the part that's killing me on the inside. And you probably already know where I'm going. He is going to continue to be the star this year. It can't, Mason, it's not lost on me that the only game that we won was the game that he got pulled early from when Mason Rudolph was a quarterback in Miami. It's not lost on me. It's not lost on you. You know that too. But we can't start Mason. Why? Because Mason isn't the future either. So yeah, while you hear me in my anger call for Mason Rudolph, I don't want to see another thing. I know that he is going to continue to be the starter. So in essence, this season, we got 12 more games to go. You can see it. Don't watch the game. Watch the game, if that makes sense to you. On that underthrow where the same cheerleader was doing the Hail Mary, you can see Calvin Ridley visibly frustrated. Look at the players. Yeah, they're saying one thing in the press conference. Callahan is saying one thing in the press conference, but look at the body language. They are a defeated team because they know their QB is not a good one. He's not even an average QB. One of the games I was playing in one of my group chat is like, who could you put in Will Levis' place and what would their record be? And this is how bad it is. Someone said that you could probably put Daniel Jones from the New York Giants in the starting QB position here in Tennessee, and we'd probably be 4-1. And the only reason why we would have probably lost that game is because you got to play the odds of having a Daniel Jones goof up somewhere. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is for Will Levis. Will Levis, when you look at the analytics page, is ranking right there beside Deshaun Watson, who is setting the quarterback position back light years, especially for black quarterbacks. He's right there neck and neck with Deshaun Watson. While rookies like Bo Nix and Drake May and Jaden Daniels, all of these quarterbacks are doing better than he is. Justin Fields, who wasn't bad with the Bears, they just didn't have an offensive line, is doing better than Will Levis. Rookies are doing better than Will Levis. So, and the thing about it is, it's week 6. We got 12 more of these games. And unless something clicks for Will Levis in his head, and he gets it, and the light bulb finally goes off, which I feel like I got a better chance of winning the Mega Millions than it is for the light to actually click on for him. Or unless he's benched because he's hurt or because Callie says, hey, I'm not losing no more. That's it for us. We have in week 6, we are looking to see if we could possibly look at getting Shadur Sanders here in Tennessee. And what position, what draft pick are we gonna be at? And if you think I'm lying, go back and look on Twitter and search Titans Scout Boulder, Colorado. The Tennessee Titans scout was standing right beside Deion Sanders at that practice. If that tells you anything, So yeah, we are in a dilemma, all right? But that's enough of that. I'm off that narcotic. I gotta get up. Check out the website. We got merch going. Don't forget, we got the 1K Oilers throwback giveaway. Make sure you locked in. If you disagree with me, comment below. What am I missing? What am I not seeing? What am I not seeing with my 4 eyes? What am I not seeing? What am I saying wrong? Am I wrong? Put it in the comments. But make sure you share, comment with all your fellow Titans fans, because no matter who is QB1 and no matter where we pick in the 2025 draft, there is plenty of room in this section for us all. Tighten up.